Chapter 2. Division. 3 years after our arrival. By the 3rd year, it became painfully clear that unity, true unity, was a fantasy. As counterproductive as it may sound, division saved us. Chernobyl was still a shithole. Radiation cracked the earth, poisoned the air in invisible waves, and etched time into our bones. But it had one redeeming quality. Radiation was Helix 9's kryptonite. The infected people that wandered too close to the city's walls would slow down. Their aggression dulled. Their movements grew hesitant, almost confused. The Helix 9 hated this city. What nearly killed us instead were our old disagreements, political pride, religious absolutism, scientific arrogance. We arrived believing intellect alone would organize us. It didn't. It fractured us. We lived packed inside Martyr City's walls with no order, no structure, 10,000 survivors pulling in 10,000 different directions. So I made a decision. Majority segregation minus supremacy, sprinkled with a dash of unity, would create function. I devised what I called peaceful division, a system rooted not in ideology, but necessity. 4 groups, 4 responsibilities, 1 city. Martyr City was split along the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. At the heart of it all sat the centrum, neutral ground. That was where we gathered to argue, to mourn, to celebrate survival, and to decide the future when the weight of it became unbearable alone. Each outer district was guarded by what little military force we had left, stationed near the perimeter to keep the infected at bay. The walls mattered, but organization mattered more. The South was reserved for science. It was the safest zone, farthest from the heaviest infection corridors. That was where the virologists, geneticists, chemists, and medical minds lived and worked. Those obsessed with cures, containment, and understanding the monster we had unleashed. The West became our lifeline. Food, water, materials, everything needed to sustain human life was grown, filtered, monitored, and rationed there. Agriculture experts and engineers became as powerful as generals once were. The East was given to belief and communication. Religious leaders, moral philosophers, and trusted voices operated there, not to control thought, but to keep despair from swallowing us whole. The radio tower stood there too, along with what remained of our communications infrastructure. If Martyr City spoke to itself, or to the world beyond, it spoke from the east, and God spoke from this direction. The 3 Abrahamic religions were primarily in charge: Christians, Muslims, the Jewish. But none of them chastised or excluded those that were steadfast in their beliefs other than. They had shrines, temples, and mosques. Some had home-based altars. Even Buddhists contributed to Martyr City's peace. There were also those that simply believed to live life as life is, day by day, and not judge any. Even if they were lighting a candle and saving back yesterday's sage from dinner to use in their prayer. These people spiritually believed in something and dedicated their lives to it. It was against the law of the land to push belief on anyone, but it was okay to believe. And then there was the North. The North belonged to the Scuds. They were not elite, not powerful, but they were essential. Builders, cleaners, cooks, runners, salvagers, hunters. Animals and plants were not affected by Helix 9. The Scuds were the ones trained to leave the walls when we needed something the city couldn't provide, including infected specimens, alive or intact, enough for scientific study. They were the only ones allowed beyond the perimeter. The logic was simple. They were expendable. I don't pretend that truth sits easily with me. It never has. But that was the honest truth. Crime, however, nearly vanished. Why? Because there was no prison, no life sentence, no illusion of rehabilitation. Laws were few, but consequences were absolute. Depending on the crime, punishment meant reassignment to the Scuds, or worse. Like walking the plank. The plank was a narrow balcony that jutted out over the city wall. When crimes were severe or repeated, the sentence was final. DNA was collected first, preserved for research, for some future hope of rebuilding mankind. Then the body followed its next step. No speeches, no mercy, just gravity, right off the side of the plank, down to those we were trying to keep out and away from the uninfected. Though I was named Supreme Leader, I refused to rule alone. Every 3 months, the city gathered in the Centrum to elect 20 leaders, 5 from each district, to manage daily governance. Ideas were debated openly. Survival demanded collaboration, not ego. Final authority rested with myself and the 3 Abrahamic religious heads. Not because faith ruled science, but because morality still mattered. Money meant nothing here. Currency was a fossil, useful only for remembering what we had been. Ironically, most of us had used money to secure our place in Martyr City. Now it sat behind glass in a small memorial museum at the Centrum's core, alongside photos of the fallen world. No luxury homes, no status symbols, no designer clothes or private transport. We all wore the same fabrics, ate the same portions, slept in similar quarters. For the first time in human history, equality wasn't an aspiration. It was enforced. We were no longer rich or poor, famous or forgotten. We were simply alive. Everything we did, every compromise, every execution, every sacrifice was in service of one goal: survival long enough to reclaim the world. My only hope is that when we finally step beyond these walls for good, we won't rebuild what destroyed us in the first place before our world fell to its perils.